colleagues at HAT will be available to kind of help with that in terms of, you know, introducing you to this kind of systems that exist there. You know, a lot of this will be desk-based research, but clearly we're expecting there to be semi-regular visits out to History of Advertising Trust. I suspect we'll have at least, you know, probably one supervision a year out there, so that, you know, we can all be in the room together and chat with Alistair. Well, some of those otherwise will be online. But really it's about, you know, understanding how HAT operates and, you know, getting a sense of what kind of material you can access and spending time going through some of those sources. Just to note that HAT is in a village called Raveningham, which is about 30 miles south of Norwich. So we're saying obviously access to a car would be useful here. I mean, it's not a criteria. You don't have to have a car to do this. But as I imagine Alistair would agree, it does make it slightly easier to get to HAT if you have some form of transport. And yes, there is additional money. In fact, we bid for additional money to support trips to HAT within the studentship. So there is a bit of extra money in there to help with those costs. Sorry, Lorna, 50 minutes. I put 30, didn't I? I was being exaggerating a little bit. Maybe it takes 30 minutes to get there. Maybe that's what I'm thinking about. So yes, there's money built into the studentship to help support those archival visits because it's, you know, that little bit out of the centre of Norwich. These are the skills you'll have already seen on the job description: relevant degree, experience of doing research. Obviously, we're saying master's degree or equivalent kind of professional experience could be taken into account there. Obviously, good interpersonal skills and organisational skills, standard PhD stuff in many ways, good verbal and written communication, you know, good with relevant tech, a kind of willingness to develop and change your working practices as needed, depending on working in archives. We've kind of said, you know, an awareness of the ethical issues in undertaking archival research is important. Again, you'll have this explained to you by colleagues at HAT as well, but obviously particularly working on relatively recent archival material, in terms of, you know, the 50s to the 80s is not that long ago. So just kind of being aware of kind of the ethical principles underlying that is useful. We've sort of said, you know, again, in terms of desirable skills, you know, experience of archives, particularly audiovisual or mixed media archives, understanding of techniques and technologies and handling archive materials. These are desirable, obviously they're not essential, but, you know, awareness of metadata and cataloging. Again, Lorna and Alistair and I can help you, you know, get up to speed with that, depending on what kind of level that knowledge is at the moment. There might be a use for kind of more kind of digital humanities-led approaches here, and again, that's something that I think Lorna and I would be interested particularly in talking to you about, talking to the successful candidate about when the project begins. And yeah, just understanding kind of the broader kind of academic world this project sits within. Applications have to be made via UEA portal. I put the link on there. That's also on the main studentship advert as well. So you basically should have access to that already. And yeah, any questions? I've noticed that the chat has got a little bubble next to it, so let me just go to the chat to see if there are questions. No, that was just Lorna talking about the distance to HAT, which I clearly got very wrong. Although I know that Alistair didn't jump in and correct me on that. It was Lorna who did, but
I knew you meant 30 minutes, but I read it as minutes as well, actually. But yes, thanks for doing that, Lorna. Yeah, we're not that far away, but yeah, it's a little bit of a drive out. Yeah.
Yeah, there's not really a public transport option, I think, is what I was trying to stress. That's why the car thing is more relevant. But yeah, any questions on any aspect of that? Please let us know. Oh, Rob's coming in, I think.
Sure. I was just wondering, and forgive me if this is something that I missed. So to what extent do you think that the candidate who's coming in to do to work on this project will have the opportunity to kind of shape the way the project develops?
Well, I mean, again, we've sketched something quite broad here, which is obviously it's the range of collections at HAT across that time period, and effectively trying to find different women within that period. Outside of that, I think we're relatively open to whatever the candidate brings to the project. There might be particular focus that they want to look at in there. They might know that might develop as the project goes on as well. It might be something that as they get used to the records and knowing what's there, they find a very particular company or a very particular grouping or a particular style of advertising that might end up becoming more of a focus within the project. We're relatively open to that. I think our main hope is just that through this by we I mean HAT as well, obviously, are just able to find more examples of these women and how they were working. And I could imagine a version of this project that's just focused on the 1950s if the material is rich enough. I could imagine a project that was more interdisciplinary in terms of women were involved, but perhaps other characteristics would be considered as well. So yeah, I feel like it's quite open within those very broad sort of parameters.
Thank you.
Either everyone's very shy or we did a marvelous job at telling them everything they needed to know. Well, I suppose I would say if there aren't any immediate questions, I am available on the email address again, which is on the main job advert or CDA advert. I've already had a few questions from people who couldn't attend today. But yeah, if you've got any questions, there is plenty of time before the deadline for applications. If you're unsure about anything based on what we've heard today, or a question occurs to you in 2 days' time, a week's time, whatever, please do get in touch. But yeah, just check if anyone's got any questions. Oh, sorry, Louise.
Morning. Hi.
Morning.
Thank you so much for this. Sounds so incredible and so exciting. Just one very quick question. When you were talking about the candidate and you said experience of conference presentation, academic publishing, how essential is that?
Well, I mean, it's very much, it's a desirable criteria. So if people don't have that, it would only come into play if everyone who applied met all the essential criteria and we were going into desirable as a way to kind of select people at that stage. So we're not expecting everyone to come with that. We also know most people will be coming in, haven't come with, even if they come straight from a master's program, they might not have any, they might have presented something, but they might not have any publications. So we're very much not setting an expectation there that everyone will come in having written and published papers. It's more just a sense that will be probably part of the project. So if you've got experience, it could be useful, but it's not essential.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, just checking. Any other questions? Otherwise, I'll let you get on with your days. As I say, happy to field individual questions by email if that's useful. If you want to go away, this recording will be on the Chase website, so you can go through it again if you're unsure about something and then contact me after that. Otherwise, yeah, I mean, it's great to have people here who are interested in the project. Please do let me know if you need any more information. Thanks to Lorna and Alistair for making time to come along, and to Joe and Rob for providing the Chase perspective on all this. Yeah, if we're done, if there's no more questions, I'll let you go. But just again, thanks for everyone for turning up, and I look forward to seeing applications next year.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank you, everyone.
Thanks, Keith.
Thanks, everyone.
Bye.